Hey, it's Holly and I'm back. When I came home from vacation, I just wasn't feeling like making videos or editing them or anything. And honestly, I'm still not 100% in that mood. I'm reading definitely at a slower pace. I am reading though, but I'm just not as motivated to do this. Now granted, usually when I come back from Disney World, I kind of go through this little depression. Not really, that over dramatizes what it is, but I avoid everything Disney related in my life, which I know has nothing to do with this channel, but I don't know, I think in a way I started avoiding those things too. I started avoiding YouTube in a lot of ways. But I'm going to try and get back on track with December, and I briefly thought about doing Vlogmas, but I decided not to do it because I figured that'd be way too much pressure to try and put up that many videos. So I'm just going to start by doing my wrap-ups. I never did do my October wrap-ups, so I do have to do that. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I ended up reading 7 books in October, which was pretty good. Especially since the last 10 or so days I wasn't reading because I was on vacation. So the first book I read was Something About You by Julie James. I feel like this was forever ago. I gave this 4 stars. This is actually the first book in her FBI U.S. Attorney series, but I read them out of order. And it's a contemporary romance. It's about a guy who's an FBI and a U.S. attorney. She is the heroine. And I thought this was a very cute story. It was nice to meet characters I've met further along in the series that I would like to see more of. And it was also nice to see these characters before they fell in love, because I see them in the other books. And it's kind of an antagonistic relationship. They don't get along. They have an initial bad meeting. And it has a little bit of suspense in it, but I'm not a suspense romance reader, and I definitely enjoyed this and thought it was fun. I really like Julie James's writing. And then I read Forever With You by Jennifer L. Armentrout, which is the latest of her books in this series that I feel like I say the name wrong every time. I don't even know. It's a young adult or a new adult / contemporary romance series. I think we're definitely safely in the contemporary romance field at this point. This one I gave 4 stars. This follows Nick, who is a bartender at the bar that you kind of get to know in Stay With Me and Fall With Me, the one before this. And then Stephanie, who you meet pretty early on in the series. And I was super excited about this book because Stephanie is in Wait For You and Be With Trust In Me, I think is what it is. She's kind of the stereotypical girl that you see in a lot of new adult books, where she's the slutty girl who slept with the guy before the heroine shows up. But then she is so much more than that, and I'm so glad that Jennifer L. Armentrout did that and is willing to explore that character. I really liked her. I liked Nick before, so it's not a surprise I liked him here too. They have a very cute story. It's a lot deeper than I thought it was going to be, but I definitely enjoyed it. I highly recommend this series, but I'm a Jennifer Armentrout fan, so not a surprise. And I don't remember if I said or not, I gave this 4 stars. Then I read The Wicked Deeds of Daniel Mackenzie by Jennifer Ashley, and this is part of her Mackenzies and McBride series, which I've been reading. And Daniel, you first meet him earlier in the series. He's a young boy, and now he's a grown-up, and it's so weird but amazing. I love this world that she's created. One of the reasons I love historicals is that they're just full of crazy big families. The Bridgertons by Julia Quinn is my dream historical, where you just have this huge family that you just have stories about, and that's what the Mackenzies are. And it was so nice to see grown-up Daniel and to see the other characters. Violet is actually kind of a con artist. Her mom is a medium, and then she pretends to be a medium, and he figures her out, and then there's all this drama about that and everything. And I'm actually a pretty big fan of con artist stories. I feel is weird because I'm not a big fan of liars, but con artists and stuff like that I find interesting. And Violet is definitely an intelligent heroine. She's very engineering minded, which I am not at all, but it's nice to see that, and I gave this one 4 stars as well. And then I read Sweet Temptation by Wendy Higgins, which is a retelling of this whole Sweet trilogy from Kaiden's perspective. And I keep hearing people say Sweet Evil. This is the whole trilogy. And you definitely should read the trilogy before reading this. Now, I know a lot of people don't like books like this. A lot of people don't like where it's just the same story told from a male POV. I actually love those stories. I mean, I'd rather the stories be told from multiple POVs to begin with, but if they're not going to be, I definitely like these. Like I said before, you need to read the trilogy before reading this. And I really suggest only reading this if you really loved the trilogy. I gave this 5 stars. It is not an amazing book, but it is an amazing companion to the trilogy. And considering she had to put 3 books into 1 book, she did a spectacular job. It was exactly what I wanted. The epilogue, even more amazing than the one in Sweet Reckoning, because that epilogue. I read 3 ebooks. I read Finding Center by Catherine Locke, which is the 3rd/2nd/final book in the District Ballet Company series. So there's like a 0.5, a 1, and it's the 2, but it's 3rd book, whatever. I gave this 4.5 stars. I really liked it. I didn't like it quite as much as the previous book, I think. These characters definitely have a dysfunctional relationship, but I really care about them, and I like seeing them deal with their struggles, and I like that Catherine Locke isn't afraid to like cover a huge amount of time in her books and show her characters growing and struggling and being a couple. So I thought it was a great series. I do want to do a review of it, so hopefully I will do that soon. And then I read Deeper by Robin York, which is a new adult novel, and I was listening to the DBSA podcast, and Sonali Dev was on, who I have never read her books before, but I know people really love her books, especially her first one, A Bollywood Affair, I think is what it's called. I actually just bought it to get free shipping on a Christmas present for my brother, so I probably will read it soon because I feel horrible not having read it. And she just raved about this book and said it was like the best new adult book she had ever read. The hero was like damaged but beautifully redeemed. The heroine was great. Honestly, I feel like she undersold this book. Like, it is amazing. The hero, West, is a duology, just so you know. Did read the second one in November. That video should be up soon. West is the hero, and he's a drug dealer, and he's a complete bad boy, but he is redeemed, and he does learn so much. And Robin York doesn't make excuses for the things that he does, and I think that's the huge difference between him and some other bad boys that you read about in new adult. And then Caroline is amazing. Like, I want to be her friend. She goes through so much. She is so strong. Basically, she has, like, I feel like this might be considered a spoiler, but I think you learn about it fairly early on, and I think it's important in case it were to upset somebody. She had a boyfriend. He took pictures of her when they were doing like different sexual things, which she knew about and consented to. And they were both over the age of 18. But then when they broke up, those pictures ended up on the internet, and it's her having to deal with the fallout of that. And so much of the story is about dealing with this idea of revenge porn, and it's something that obviously I know about, but I had never really given a lot of thought to. And to see it from Caroline's perspective, and how it's basically ruining her life and it's driving her insane, it was incredibly heartbreaking, but it's beautiful. I think the story is so well written. I like the second one even more. I'll talk about that more next in like my other wrap up. Oh my gosh, I really liked it. I do think this is like one of the best new adult books out there. And then I read The 15th Minute by Sarina Bowen, which I didn't write down what I gave it, but I think I gave it 5 stars. This is the latest book in her Ivy Year series, which I love. I have made no bones about that. This is about Leanne, who is like a child actress. And she's still an actress, you know, obviously. And she was Bella's, like, lived next door to Bella, and so you meet her in the previous book, The Shameless Hour. And then DJ, who is one of the hockey players' brothers. And their story was so beautiful, so funny. It made me smile like the whole time. There was some sad and like heartbreaking moments, but but at the same time they were just so cute, and they had these like awesome relationships, and they got together when they talked about music, and it was so cute. And DJ's story is so different. I've never read anything like this, especially in new adult, and I'm so glad Sarina Bowen did this. She deals with the like sexual assault storyline, but in a slightly different way. So I feel like that doesn't spoil things, but lets you know that sexual assault is addressed in here in case that's something you try to avoid. I think in a lot of Sarina Bowen's books, especially in these Ivy Years books, she talks about sexuality in some way in all of her books. And I think that's so important, the way she's looking at it from different perspectives. I never want to leave this world, and I feel like we're leaving it now, but there's going to be a spin-off series which I'm very excited about, but I don't want to leave Harkness College. I just don't want to do it. So that is it. That is my October wrap-up. Like I said, I will be back with my November wrap-up soon, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching and being patient with me. Bye!